welcome back to Heal Me with Chocolate. I'm Dr. Beata Lerman, your host and the founder of Sinless Chocolate. If you never needed a reason to enjoy chocolate, besides the sheer joy of it, today's episode is for you. We're unpacking the science behind how chocolate helps your heart, boosts your brain power, elevates your mood, and even supports your immune system. Buckle up, it's gonna be a delicious ride through how our body works with chocolate. As a healthcare professional, it would be wrong of me if I didn't start with cardiovascular health. As we've all been told for the last 5 decades, heart attacks and heart disease is the number one killer of Americans for at least the last 50 years. So how does chocolate help with the heart conditions? Chocolate, especially minimally processed dark chocolate that is made from real cacao beans, is packed with powerful compounds that love your heart as much as you do. Flavonoids, particularly epicacin, are the most valuable players. They help increase the nitric oxide production, relaxing your blood vessels. That also brings down the high blood pressure. They improve the circulation, and as I said, they lower blood pressure. Fun fact, the Kuna people of Panama who drink cacao daily have some of the lowest rates of hypertension in the world. I can also attest that this is true with the cacao growing communities in Ecuador, Costa Rica, Peru, and Bolivia that I have seen. People there, even in the advanced age, when they're like 70s, 80s years old, they look very young. They have power and longevity. They move around, and they definitely don't look their age at all. Another thing found in abundance in chocolate is magnesium. Magnesium is vital for over 300 bodily functions, including maintaining the regular heartbeat. Cacao is one of the richest plants source of magnesium, immediately behind the seaweed. If you ever crave chocolate during the menstrual cycle, on your period, or during stress, that means your body is asking for magnesium, so it can self-regulate and recharge. Another powerful component of cacao is theobromin. It's the heart-healthy stimulant, very similar to caffeine, but smoother. It doesn't cause the jitters. It gently widens the blood vessels, increases the circulation without raising the heart rate. So I get asked very often, is there caffeine in chocolate? And I say, if it wasn't artificially added, there shouldn't be. Because theobromin, it also found in abundance in green tea, is the stimulating molecule of chocolate. But theobromin has an opposite effect of caffeine. If caffeine actually constricts the blood vessels and therefore the jitters, and sometimes people feel like they have this butterflies in their stomach and they increase the focus because it increases blood pressure, the theobromin acts completely differently. So it widens blood vessels, allowing more blood and more oxygen come through, and therefore lowers blood pressure. This is why cacao is often called a natural cardiovascular tonic. In addition to flavonoids, magnesium, and theobromin, there are other polyphenols that act like antioxidants, fighting inflammation and neutralizing the free radicals. They help protect the arteries from plaque buildup and oxidative damage. Pairing high flavanol chocolate with diet rich in vegetables and omega-3s can enhance this heart protective effect. So yeah, your nightly square of dark chocolate is doing more than calming your soul. it's giving your heart a little hug too. And if it's a really good functional chocolate that's made with no soy lecithins and no sugar and no other artificial detrimental ingredients, it just goes extra mile for you. Now, let's talk about brain and cognitive benefits of chocolate. You know, when you eat chocolate, it lifts you up. It makes you feel really great, doesn't it? That's not just in your head. Maybe it is, but in a good way. You're not imagining it. So let's go back to theobromin. Theobromin, as we said, relaxes the blood vessels and increases the blood flow. It has shown to improve attention span and reaction time. Think of it as chocolate answer to caffeine, but without the crush. Wouldn't it be amazing if our morning routine would start with therapeutic medicinal cacao drink instead of coffee? That would be a perfect world for me. Also, flavonoids stimulate neurogenesis. What is it? It's a formation of new neurons, the cells that constitute the brains and spinal cords. So when I was younger and I was in my anatomy classes, people would say the nerves don't regenerate. I think now in 21st century, we can safely say that that was a false claim due to lack of knowledge with the technology we had at the time. But nerve cells really do regenerate, but they crave the stimulation for regeneration. So people who have strokes, if they want to recover by learning a new skill or new craft or a new language, they recover faster because those neurons get stimulated to regenerate. So, as I said, flavonoids stimulate neurogenesis, aka the birth of new brain cells, and especially in the hippocampus. It is huge for memory and learning. There was a study in 2021 that showed improved cognition performance in older adults after just 8 weeks of high flavonoid cacao. When I was reading that study, it almost made me want to recreate it with the Sinless treats chocolate and see if there is additional benefits. There is also a molecule in cacao beans that's called phenylethylamine, or PEA. It is known as a quote-unquote love drug because it mimics the brain chemistry of falling in love. And this is why sometimes you know that when we feel depressed and when we feel lonely, there is this urge to escape into chocolate. However, choosing any ultra-processed chocolate brands can lead to undesirable effects like weight gains or inflammation or eventually sugar highs and sugar crashes. However, we cannot discount the fact that chocolate boosts dopamine levels and increase mental clarity. With chocolate containing massive amounts of sugar, though, that clarity will definitely soon be replaced by a brain fog caused by inflammation promoted by sugar. Another thing in the chocolate that is worth mentioning is tryptophan, which is an amino acid. It's one of the 20 essential amino acids that our body absolutely require to receive from the outside with food. And tryptophan is important because it's a precursor to serotonin, the happiness molecule. It helps regulate sleep, supports memory and mood. In chocolate, it's naturally paired with magnesium and fat, which enhance the absorption and conversion. So I keep going back to people liking to use supplements for anything. I use a fair amount of supplements in my longevity routine, but there is nothing better than getting those molecules from natural sources in a milieu of other things that nature intended to come along. So not everything in its purest form is exactly what our body desires. Sometimes it just doesn't know what to do with it without the friendly molecules that come along with. Now let's talk about mood, anxiety, and immunity. This is where chocolate truly becomes your emotional support food, with science to back it up. Anandamide literally means the bliss molecule. It's a neurotransmitter found in cacao. It binds to the cannabinoid receptor, triggering feelings of calm and joy. It's one reason chocolate is so comforting. It's also found in black truffles, but let's be honest, chocolate is a lot more affordable. Going back to tryptophan in cacao, it works like nature's antidepressant. It helps your body produce serotonin and melatonin, improving the mood and quality of sleep. Melatonin, worth mentioning, is also one of two most important antioxidants that our body makes. It is melatonin and glutathione. So both of those are very necessary for healthy body function. Magnesium, the original chill pill, helps quiet the nervous system, lowers cortisol, and reduces muscle tension. We already mentioned that it's involved in upwards of 300 different biochemical processes in the body. So think about how much, and by the way, this is why if you look at all of the supplements that you take, I would guarantee you 90% of that would have magnesium citrate as a ingredient, even if it was just like broccoli or ashwagandha or any other plant-based supplement that we're taking. The supplement producing companies put magnesium into everything, but it's because it does exactly that in our crazy world. It lowers cortisol and reduces muscle tension. And this is why chocolate is go-to food during the premenstrual syndrome, burnout, and anxiety. Flavonoids in the chocolate help reduce neuroinflammation, which is increasingly linked to depression, burnout, and brain fog. Prebiotic fibers like inulin, which is abundant in Sinless treats chocolate, feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut. And since your gut makes over 90% of serotonin that's produced inside the body, it's not a small detail. The gut-brain connection is getting more and more traction now. There is more research happening, and we now know that healthy, diverse microbiome really does correlate with a more resilient and less anxious mental state. Also, zinc and iron that is abundant in cacao support immunity by helping create an active T cells. So your main soldiers to fight the viruses and bacteria, but also tumors. It also helps bring more oxygen to brain and organs and oxygenate your blood. A lot of people that we saw in the clinics or in clinical trials are iron deficient. And iron deficiency is one of the top causes of fatigue and low focus, lack of energy, fibromyalgia. And that's another reason to use chocolate for those health perks. Do you want a hack? Try pairing functional chocolate with meditation or yoga. The calming effect is amplified, and you create a self-care ritual that feels luxurious and nourishing. Let's go beyond biology for a moment. Chocolate has always had a ceremonial value. From Mayans and Aztecs, who called cacao the food for gods, to more than a day rituals of self-care. Making time to slowly savor a piece of functional chocolate can transform your day. I agree, though, we should bring the tradition of the medicinal drinkable chocolate back to the morning routines so we can start our day without the anxious jolt of the coffee mug. And for chocolate, it's not just about eating. It's about being present, engaging with your senses, and honoring your health. Try this at home. Break a piece of dark chocolate, hold it in your mouth, breathe deeply, and close your eyes. Let it melt on your tongue and let the flavors unfold. That simple act of connection connects you to your body, reduces stress, and brings you into the present. That's the real healing. So, chocolate is not just a snack. It's smart, science-backed superfood. If you heard me before, you know I hate the word superfood. To me, the word superfood means something that actually nourishing as well as good for your body. That should be all food, not just acai or whatever they make it these days. What's the new lion manes or something. All food should be superfoods. It's just foods because it comes from the nature and it carries the building blocks that our bodies need. But back to chocolate. Today we learned it supports your heart, it energizes your brain, it elevates your mood, it gives your immune system a boost. But that is true only when crafted with quality ingredients, low sugar, and the intention to nourish. That's what we believe at Sinless Treats Chocolate. Healing through indulgence without compromise. Thank you for being with us in this episode today. Next time, we'll tackle the great debate, monk fruit versus stevia versus erythritol. Which sugar-free sweetener should you trust? Until then, if you want to know more about the mission, vision, and values of Sinless Treats, go visit sinlesstreetschocolate.com. Stay healthy, and until next time, see ya.